Hey guys, Mike here. In this video, I'm going to answer the question, should you play Fire Emblem and should you start with the newest game that's coming out in 9 days on January 20th? And the answer I have for you is a resounding yes. You should absolutely play Fire Emblem, especially if you've never played it before. This is one of the very few games that I can recommend to just about anybody. And there's a couple reasons why I recommend it. And especially if you're just used to playing action RPGs or more action-oriented games, Fire Emblem is a turn-based RPG, and some of you may not like that, but I'm going to give you a few reasons why I highly recommend you try Fire Emblem. And the main reason is that, well, not the main reason, but the first reason is it's really easy to get into. So there's typically what you do is you move your units and you attack the enemy units, and you need to make calculations based on attack power and defense and certain skills and advantages that you may have against the enemy. When you attack an enemy, it usually gives a battle forecast that already does the calculations for you, and so it's really easy to get into. So if you're not playing super hardcore, you can kind of just play a little bit casually if you want to play it that way. But the good thing is that it's not. There's a high level to Fire Emblem gameplay. That is, you can't just rely on being a beginner forever and just use the battle forecast. Like, if you want to get better, there's definitely examples of people who are very skilled at this game, who are master strategists, who can just it's just amazing some of the things that people can do with this game, like some of the crazy strategies that people come up with. So I would say it's easy to get into. It's like chess. It's easy to get into, but it has very high skill ceiling, and it's at that advanced, even at intermediate level, but it's at that advanced level where the game starts to become really, really fun. And there's just so much things to think about. There's like a long-term game that resource management of storing weapons, distributing experience, making sure your units are trained up, recruiting different units that may start out weaker, but when you really invest time into them, they become juggernauts and what I like to call terrorists, pretty much. They're just terrors on the battlefield. And another thing I want to talk about is the second reason why I highly recommend it, and it's because with Fire Emblem, I get this gaming high that I don't get with a lot of other games. That is, even though it is a turn-based RPG, it's still very fast-paced in the sense that because you're thinking about so many things, you're thinking about strategies, your short-term strategies, like in the current skirmish, like with what's right in front of you, and then as well as the whole map, like the boss at the end of there, you're thinking about how you're going to beat him, as well as your long-term strategy of how you're going to train your units and making sure everyone keeps up with the contributes to the army and is strong enough to contribute to your army. Because you're thinking of all of these different things, like even though it's turn-based, your mind is constantly firing, like always thinking about these things. Like you're doing the short-term calculations of attack and defense and how you're going to kill like the enemies right in front of you, but you're also thinking about all these long-term strategies that like I find my mind just keeps thinking about these things. And like I said earlier, like you can play it a little bit more casually and not have to think so much, but like when you get at a higher level, that's when this game starts to become really fun, because you're just like I said, you're thinking about so many things and you're making all these decisions, and it's just like like I said earlier, it's kind of like a gaming high that you're on, and you can just spend so much time on this, and it's just really fun. So the last reason I would highly recommend you try Fire Emblem, especially if you've never played Fire Emblem before, is because it will flat out make you smarter. Like if you want to be smarter, just play Fire Emblem, because you start to think of strategies. You're just doing basic calculations in your head. Granted, it is third grade math, or maybe even easier than that. First grade math is just like, what's 28 minus 14? What's 14, right? So you're just doing all these calculations, and even though it is easy, you're constantly doing it. You're constantly double checking, and then your confidence and your math skills and your strategic skills just skyrocket through the roof as you get better and better. So I would say, I don't think I would be. I don't want to say I'm smart. I'm probably average IQ, to be honest. But I definitely feel like I can compute things faster. So I would definitely say Fire Emblem has made me smarter to some extent. So if you want to be smarter, just play Fire Emblem and try to play it at a intermediate or advanced level. Those are the main reasons I highly recommend it. You know, even if you're not into the story, like for some of the games, the story is kind of, it's all right, but the gameplay has always been consistent. Has always been fun. It's always built on the same formula. Every game has sort of switched up the formula a little bit, but the same formula of just attack and defense and hit rates and all that kind of stuff has always been in every game, and it has always worked. This game has been around for about 20 years. I want to say even more than 20 years already. So you know, it's been there since the very beginning of gaming, and I highly recommend it. And it's just so much fun, and that's pretty much all I can say. I can't give it any higher recommendation. Now, if you want to get into Fire Emblem, like I said earlier, there's Fire Emblem Engage is the newest title that's coming out on Nintendo Switch, and it comes out in 9 days on January 20th. So I think it's a great opportunity, especially like my audience is used to Monster Hunter. So if you played Monster Hunter on Switch, if you already have a Switch console and you're looking for a game to play, I highly recommend Fire Emblem. I'll be covering it on this channel, you know, just for the life cycle of the game, and I'm really excited about this game, so as you can probably tell. So that's pretty much it for this video, and thanks for watching.